Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And this is Girls Talk Film. This is a podcast about movies, and every week we take 3 movies that share a similar tone, theme, style, type of character, and we chat about them. And you can join us if you like.
Please do.
Yeah,
I feel like every episode we're like, guys, interact with us, please. Like, leave a comment, follow. But we actually really, really love reading the comments.
No, we love hearing from people who listen and enjoy. I mean, it's always just makes us feel really nice.
The whole reason why we started this podcast was because every time we get together, we just talk about movies. So seeing other people talk to us about movies just gets us going so hard.
We love it. We're widening the circle.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the whole point of why we started. Exactly.
Literally, yeah.
But we love reading comments. If you guys ever have any suggestions for movies for us to review, for themes for us to do, please do, because we just have these crazy brainstorm sessions where we just argue until one of us gets our way.
Yeah,
so.
That's basically some weeks it's very obvious I picked the majority of the movies, and then there's other weeks that Olivia clearly picked the majority of the movies.
Yeah.
The Anti-Heroes episode.
That was just me getting you to watch the movies that I wanted you to watch so that we could talk about them.
Yeah, that's true. That was also, I feel like there's going to be one episode where I just pick all the movies.
I think
there are in our lineup upcoming.
I feel there definitely are. But, things shift. Things are ever changing.
Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy 95% of the movies that we've watched.
Yes.
And most of them have been Olivia's picks.
Yes.
I just have to say, especially the ones I've really enjoyed that I haven't seen before or heard before, I have really, really enjoyed. So
okay. Wait,
yeah.
That makes me feel so good about myself.
Yeah, I knew it was.
Starting this off on a really nice note. Thank you, Maggie.
This week's a little special though, because is it safe to say that neither one of us really recommended these movies?
Yeah, this is definitely more of a genre exploration episode and less of a movie review episode. I know we can kind of shift between the two sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's more about how we feel about each of the 3 movies that we happen to have watched, and then sometimes it's more of a general exploration of the topic. This is definitely a topic week.
Definitely.
We are talking about YA dystopia, and we're going to be reviewing 3 of the more iconic entries in the YA dystopia canon: The Hunger Games, Divergent, and Uglies.
All 3 book to movie adaptations.
Yes.
All 3 books I have read. You have?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It has been I said this to you off camera, so insanely long since I have read any of these books that I really have forgotten basically everything about them aside from the most essential plot points. Like I was saying earlier, I read Uglies maybe when I was in the 4th grade.
Probably
I was
same.
Crazy young, and so so many years ago. The only thing I remembered from that plot was they were ugly and they get a surgery to be pretty, and that was quite literally it. So going into these movies, it was really nostalgic and just really strange just watching these movies that were so iconic. Okay, some were so iconic when they came out.
I mean, we were the target demo for these movies when they were coming out. We really existed in the thick of the YA dystopia craze. That was really my preteen and teenage years. Was very defined by those books.
Same, yeah.
So definitely fun to revisit them.
Also, just especially The Hunger Games and Divergent specifically, not so much Uglies because that's a much newer movie, which we'll get to later. But those 2 movies were coming out really when social media was skyrocketing for people our age too. So, okay, I don't know.
And kind of when fandom culture was at its craziest.
Peak. Oh, it's peak. I don't know if you know this, but on Instagram, you can go into your likes and see your oldest likes. I did this 2 weeks ago.
There would be so much Hunger Games shit in there.
Olivia, you have no idea. Scrolling Hunger Games memes, pictures of Josh Hutcherson, who I really can't say I'm super attracted to. He's not one of my top 10 Hollywood men.
He is a short king.
He is.
Don't get
me wrong.
Rewatching The Hunger Games, I was like, you know what, Josh Hutcherson, you got it.
No, listen, he's adorable. I think he's
so
good
cute.
looking, but he's not my top 10 Hollywood guys that I would hook up with. So seeing all these pictures of Peter Malark in my Instagram likes. I was like, really? Was I that into him when I was 12, 13 years old? I guess I was.
I think we all were. I mean, I think it was a bit culty. We were all sort of indoctrinated into it.
Oh, yeah.
We're kicking things off with The Hunger Games.
That is our first movie.
But before we do, I would love to give a really quick, just sort of overview of YA dystopia. To call it an overview is not even.
A very general summary.
Just some context for what we experienced in our youth that maybe not everyone watching experienced in their youth.
Please, Olivia.
So dystopian literature has been popular since the 20th century. I mean, think Brave New World, 1984, A Clockwork Orange, like all books that sold really well when they came out and have continued to live on. Mm-hmm. But in the 2010s, as we mentioned, the genre's popularity skyrocketed, particularly in young adult literature. And some have speculated that this was mostly due to the fact that teens were coming of age in kind of an uncertain time, the fallout from the 2008 financial crisis, and also, like you mentioned, this was the advent of the internet. So this new world that we were coming of age into was a world that was unknown to our parents. And definitely created a lot of confusion. Also, I think what a lot of people are not really mentioning when they talk about this is how everything became increasingly hierarchical, especially for young people with social media.
Can you go further into that?
That if you weren't cool in middle school, like you already knew it, but now you could like numerically see how uncool you are.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
The craze is really credited to the Hunger Games, but people do forget that The Giver and Uglies actually came out before the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah. I think I read The Giver maybe in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I definitely recall the Hunger Games coming out after that because I specifically read it because I liked The Giver so much.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, and then kind of after the Hunger Games, a billion other copycats came out in the following years. We got Divergent, we got Maze Runner, we got Matched, which I don't know if you remember. You remember the cover and it's green with the girl in the bubble?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. I didn't even know. I never read it. I didn't know that was like a YA dystopian. I thought that was more kind of like Judy Blume-esque coming of age.
Oh no, that we're full YA dystopia. We even get a love triangle.
Of course. Of course.
So yeah, the Hunger Games really is credited with kicking off the boom in YA dystopian literature, but it was not the first. I read this quote in a New Yorker article by Laura Miller that I think really sums up why this happened very nicely. She says, "Some argue that dystopian stories for adults and children have essentially the same purpose, to warn us about the dangers of some current trend. While that's certainly true of books like 1984 and Brave New World, because they detail the consequences of political authoritarianism and feckless hedonism, children don't run the world, and teenagers especially feel the sting of this. The Hunger Games operates like a fable or a myth, a story in which outlandish and extravagant figures and events serve as conduits for universal experiences. Dystopian fiction may be the only genre written for children that's routinely less didactic than its adult counterpart. It's not about persuading the reader to stop something terrible from happening. It's about what's happening right this minute in the stormy psyche of the adolescent reader. The success of Uglies, author Scott Westerfield once wrote in his blog, is partly thanks to the fact that high school is a dystopia." So, yeah, I think I would agree that the dystopia setting and placing a teenage hero or heroine in it kind of literalizes the storminess and the confusion and the oppression
angst,
and the angst that we were all feeling at those ages.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I think the article kind of words it perfectly.
Right? I thought that was so poignant and very true.
Yeah. All right. So movie number 1, The Hunger Games. It came out in 2012, and it is a science fiction action movie directed by Gary Ross, written by, Gary Ross, Billy Ray, and Suzanne Collins. And Suzanne Collins also wrote the book of the same name,
which came out in 2008.
Wow. It's so crazy to think like how old these books are now.
I know. 2008 feels like so long ago.
It's so weird to think about. Maybe I was actually younger when I read these books then.
I know I was 10 when I remember being 10 when I read The Hunger Games, because the movie came out when I was 11 and I read the book before everyone else read the book in my grade, and I felt very special.
Guys,
that I liked it before everyone else liked it.
It's just like she was on the trend first.
I'm
she
just
knew
a
about the Hunger
trendsetter.
Games
What
before
can I
it was
say?
indie. It's so long ago. I don't even want to guess. I want to say I maybe read the book because my older sister read it and I wanted to read it when she was reading it. I don't think I read it because it was a movie. I've done that sometimes. Like, I think I did that for Divergent. Like, I saw Divergent was a movie and I was like, oh, I want to read the book, because I had only read the first book.
I might have done the same, but I did read The Hunger Games before, like,
the movies came out.
movie,
I also did
or
too.
before the movie was announced. Like, I didn't know that it was a movie.
I think same, because I've actually never seen the final 2 Hunger Games movies, and it was because when the second movie came out, I didn't really like it, and I remember liking the book a lot more. So I was like, I think they're just not going to stay true to the books. And I mean, so I just didn't.
I'm sorry, even splitting the third book into 2 movies, it's the shortest book.
Yeah.
It's so clearly a money grab. And you know what? It didn't work. And those 2 movies were the worst performing. So,
yeah. But regardless, we're just going to talk about the first one today.
Okay, but I can still pepper in my complaints.
I'm still a critic.
I have things to say, Maggie. The Hunger Games was distributed by Lionsgate, and it received a wide theatrical release in March 2012. The Hunger Games grossed $695 million worldwide against a $78 million budget. So obviously it was incredibly high performing. And then with merch sales and digital sales, I'm sure it surpassed $1 billion.
There's so much money. Swimming in that money.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. This was a cultural event.
Oh, yeah. Again, my Instagram will tell the story. It was everywhere, on social media, on TV.
I saw it in theaters 3 times.
I think we actually might own it, my family. Like, I think we got it when DVD was like just starting to come out of like popularity. But because I know we have Twilight, but we might also have The Hunger Games.
I wasn't allowed to watch Twilight.
I got to watch it because my sister really liked it. And
I was not allowed to read or watch it. And then having now read and watched read the books and watched the movies as an adult, because I was not allowed to read them when I was a child.
Too satanic.
I think just too sexy. They're really not that sexy, Mom. Like, I just have to say, you were protecting me from nothing. I totally could have read them.
Okay, so something important that we want to go into before we really get into the plot of all 3 of these movies is we want to set up the world of these novels. These movies, yeah.
Kind of important to place ourselves before we get into the plot. And for anyone who has watched us or listened to us before, you know we go full spoilers.
Yes.
Kind of realized we maybe should start warning people.
You know what? I kind of thought in our earlier episodes people would get it, because I think we used to give spoiler warnings. And then my mom was listening to an episode, shout out Mom, and she was like, I would have liked to watch that movie, but you guys spoiled it for me. So spoiler warning, I guess.
Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen these movies and would like to and don't want spoilers, just skip to whatever section you don't mind hearing spoilers for.
So to get into it, The Hunger Games takes place in the dystopian nation of Panem. Established in the remains of North America after an apocalyptic event, Panem is divided into 12 districts controlled by the capital, who exploit them for their natural resources and labor. As punishment for a failed rebellion 74 years earlier, each district must annually select 2 tributes, a boy and a girl, between the ages of 12 and 18, to fight to the death in a nationally televised event called The Hunger Games. Before the film begins, we get some title cards that explain all of this.
So our heroine is 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen, who lives in District 12, which is the coal mining district. She's played by a 25-year-old Jennifer Lawrence, who looks every one of her years.
I gotta say, I think she kind of has a baby face. I mean, does she look 16? No.
No.
Does she look like she could be 20? I think so.
Yeah, but I don't buy 16. I'm so sorry.
Well, okay.
Especially when she's interacting with the other cast members that are teenagers.
Yes, but
she looks so clearly older than them.
The, what's his name, Hemsworth brother does not look like a teenager either. And neither does Josh Hutcherson. So, like,
Josh Hutcherson, maybe I can buy.
Why? Because he's short, Olivia?
No.
Guys, we love short kings.
We do, historically.
No, like literally. Evidence would show.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Jennifer Lawrence is great in this role. I do want to start off by saying that. She is excellent casting. There's a reason that she skyrocketed to the level of fame that she's at now because of this. She is great in this movie.
Compared to the other two movies that we'll talk about later, she just brings such humanity to Katniss. Like, she actually feels like a person.
So yeah, Katniss has basically become like parentified in her household. Her father died in a coal mine explosion, and Katniss has to basically hunt to provide for her family, which is her mother and her little sister Prim, who's 12. And Katniss will often hunt with her bestie Gale, who's played by Liam Hemsworth, who's also 25. But yeah, Katniss is very survival oriented, and we kind of see this throughout, but we really see it in the beginning.
I appreciate how her survival instinct is due to the environment that she's grown up in. It is literally, she every year could be facing her death. So the fact that she kind of, Jennifer Lawrence brings this really great bluntness to Katniss.
Yeah, that I felt really represented the character in the book.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I feel like with a lot of these YA, specifically in this dystopian setting, a lot of the characters are not like too nonchalant or too everyday girl, but they don't give me the sense that they live in such a cutthroat society.
Yeah. Where we get that just from knowing Katniss.
Exactly.
So Katniss's sister Prim, who is 12 years old, it's her first time entering her name into the lottery to get picked to be in the Hunger Games. She gets selected to participate in the 74th Hunger Games, and Katniss famously volunteers to take her place as District 12's female tribute. The male tribute selected is Peeta Mellark, who's played by Josh Hutcherson, and he is the town baker's son.
Katniss and Peeta are taken to the Capitol by the Capitol escort, Effie Trinket, who's played by Elizabeth Banks, in her best acting performance I've seen.
I've never seen her be this good in anything else, low-key.
Yeah. So along with Effie, they are accompanied by their mentor, Haymitch Abernathy, who's played by Woody Harrelson. Also a really great casting pick.
I mean, Woody Harrelson's great in most things I've seen him in, but this is kind of one of those who the hell else could have been cast in this role kind of things. He just is Haymitch.
When I saw this movie, I was incredibly young, so I had never seen Woody Harrelson in like really anything else. And so seeing him in all these different projects, like in the back of my mind, he always is Haymitch.
Same.
But he's so, I mean, again, talk about like a character that if in the wrong hands could be so one-dimensional and just not given the character justice in the books. It makes me really nervous for this new movie coming out about Haymitch's Hunger Games.
You should be nervous. I read the book.
Oh, oops.
4 out of 10.
Okay.
If I had to rate the
Yikes.
book,
Well,
I would
then,
give the book
okay.
a 4 out of 10, and I would give the movie. I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming it's going to be
literally
worse.
Not out yet.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be at least 30% worse than the book. So that's my hope for that.
All right. So Haymitch is the only living Hunger Games victor from District 12. Haymitch stresses that there's a lot of importance in getting sponsors for these games, which are Capitol patrons who send resources during the actual games. So they're kind of give you your bread and butter when you're actually out in the arena.
So yeah, I really love the world building of the Hunger Games. I think it's great because I think it is realistic. Essentially, the Hunger Games is a televised event. Like, it's the thing every year that people look forward to. I like to equate it to what a Love Island season is for us. The Hunger Games is for these people. And you know what? The levels of brutality are not as far apart as we'd like to think.
They're getting closer every year.
Every year. No, but so essentially the Hunger Games are entertainment for the Capitol and for the people in the districts. I think that the idea of having sponsors, of like getting Capitol people to like sponsor tributes and like send them things when they're in need, is actually so sinister because like, okay, so the Capitol is completely complicit in the Hunger Games. Like, it is entertainment to them. But imagine the idea of like but you can help them. Like, you can sponsor a tribute.
Yeah.
And how it must make them feel like, but like, I'm going to help.
No, I mean,
like, I'm going to help one of them. And it's like, oh, wow, is that not something that we would all fall for?
I mean, in my mind, when I was watching it, it kind of reminds me of like any type of talent show where it's like, call in and vote for this person. It's like a weird, more twisted version of that.
Exactly.
Like, but which tribute are you rooting for? Oh, I'm rooting for, Katniss. And you know what? I am actually thinking about sponsoring her. Like, I really want her to win. And it's like, is that not like Dancing with the Stars? You're like, oh, I really want this person to win. I mean, it's not a fight to the death, but
I think that's the thing, though. It's the fact that it is a fight to the death, and the fact that actually like these people can maybe be fooled into thinking that they're actually helping. I mean, that's
they're literally the reason that they're there.
When it's like, no, you're actually more complicit in the system, but like you think that you're helping these kids. It's another little detail that I think makes the idea of the Hunger Games more resonant because it's more realistic.
I mean, I think it's Hamish has a great line where he's like, it's basically just a TV show. Like, he's like, play the game, win over your fans. And that's a big reason why you survive.
And then another horrible thing put on these kids who are sent into this arena to be murdered. And they all know they're going to be murdered is like, but you also have to try and be likable to the public.
Right. You have to like not be yourself, especially Katniss.
Yeah.
She's so like not unlikable, but she's so cold.
She's like abrasive.
Yeah.
She's rough around the edges.
Which obviously.
I think part of what made the Hunger Games so resonant then, and the reason that it stood the test of time when so many of these other YA dystopias haven't, is because it deals with themes that are familiar to us in the real world.
I was just going to say, I think that whole thing is so relevant today is because of just, it has good writing. It has great world building that has, roots that are very relatable to our society today.
Which is, that honestly is all good dystopia. It's like when we can see the seeds in our real life that are then exaggerated in whatever dystopian world is occurring.
Yeah.
That's what makes it good, is when we can see our world in it.
One of my favorite dystopian novels is Brave New World. And I
Love
find that
Brave New World.
So scarily familiar.
Honestly,
Every
I
year
think
we get
equating our world to Brave New World is a lot more of an accurate comparison than our world to the Hunger Games. So once in the capital, Katniss and Peeta attend group training where basically all the tributes have to train together. And there's all these politics around this. Like, you kind of don't want to show what you're good at to the other tributes because you're all going to be murdering each other soon.
Right. So you don't want to like show your ace.
Exactly. So Katniss is really good with a bow and arrow, but she like decides to not do that during training. She like learns how to build traps and start fires and things like that, which end up helping her later on instead of showing off.
Peeta's in art class during the whole thing.
I mean, can we for a second?
Like, can we actually be for real?
So Peeta, there is this moment where Katniss goes up to Peeta and she's like, what are you doing? And he's at like the painting station that they have
Why?
there.
I think it's the camo station.
Yeah, the camouflage.
In his defense.
And he's drawn like lifelike tree bark, like 3D lifelike tree bark
SFX,
prosthetics. Yeah, like up his arm. And he like holds it against one of the fake trees that they have in this like training center. And it is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, he's done it perfectly. And his only excuse is, I used to decorate the cakes at the bakery.
Huh?
How the hell does that translate?
Yeah.
To like, oh, you're this like incredible SFX artist now.
That would be like Katniss being like amazing with the bow and arrow and be like, yeah, I play darts sometimes. Like,
literally.
Like, okay, I guess. Tell me you don't do camo like training on the side, Peeta.
So it's also in this section that we get introduced to the career tributes, and they're from the districts 1 and 2 in the books 1, 2, and 4, as us book people know. And these tributes are the ones that have basically trained for the game their whole lives. In the movies, they say they're entered into a special academy, and then when they're 18, they volunteer, and they win almost every year. Before entering the arena, all of the tributes are forced into doing these interviews. They're interviewed by Capital late night host Caesar Flickerman, great character name. He's played by Stanley Tucci, and boy, is Stanley Tucci just chewing the scenery.
The right pick for that role, too.
So like perfect casting is an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
He's so slimy and
the
just
way
horrible.
He's so like fake and I'm trying to like think of the right word, but it's almost like synthetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
He's
like plastic.
Like
yeah.
compassionate to them. It's awful.
And in his interview, PETA reveals that he's had a crush on Katniss for several years, which initially makes Katniss furious. Like, why would you go on television and tell that to the entire world? And before she kind of realizes that this is a tactic to maybe get sponsors. In the book, they were more clear about the fact that Haymitch and PETA came up with this plan together.
Yes.
In the movies, they don't really get into that. I like that it's more strategic in the book. Like, it is Haymitch and PETA's strategy to make them likable. It's to create this maybe like love interest sort of
like
tension.
star-crossed lovers. Yeah.
Which is incredibly clever. And we also see that PETA is really quite good in front of the cameras.
He's really good at playing the game.
Yeah.
Like Katniss
and she really struggles with it.
Yeah, they're kind of perfect foils in that way. Like PETA is weak. He's not a good fighter. He's like kind of this like wimp of a guy. No offense to him. But he's really good at this manipulation of the capital, of the viewers. He understands that this is a TV show. He knows how to get the sponsors. Katniss, on the other hand, is like you said, she's abrasive. She's kind of awkward. She's cold and not really likable to the people in the capital, but she's a great hunter. She's able to survive in an environment like the arena, and she's kind of tough and quick-witted.
Yeah, I mean, which also really speaks to the class difference between her and PETA. That PETA was the son of the town baker. So he was raised in better financial circumstances than Katniss, who literally has to hunt for food for her family. We learn that there were periods where after her dad died, they were literally starving. Just complete, utter poverty. PETA isn't just concerned about survival. We even get a great scene with Katniss and PETA before they enter the arena, where PETA's telling her that I just don't want them to keep me from being myself. Like, I don't.
Yes.
And Katniss literally says to him, I can't afford to think like that. Like, I'm worried that my family will starve if I don't survive this. You're worried about like not becoming the capital's pawn. She literally does not have the luxury to worry about that, which I mean, is that not just the truest of real life?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what's an even better comparison is when a lot of people were boycotting Starbucks and people were like, people who work at Starbucks should quit their jobs. And everyone was like, sorry?
Starbucks employs so many people.
But also like the privilege someone has
to say that you
like,
should just quit.
Yeah.
You should just quit.
Like as if people don't need to
feed themselves and their families.
Yeah. So very much that dynamic in that scene very much reminded me of something like that.
Yeah. And I really liked that they included that scene.
Oh, yeah.
I like that both Katniss and PETA are really three-dimensional characters. And like, not only do we learn about their characters in that scene, we learn about the world. Excellent dialogue, excellent world building.
So finally, the time for the Hunger Games comes. From an underground room, Katniss is lifted into the arena and the games officially begin. Half of the tributes are immediately killed in a brawl for supplies around a central structure called the Cornucopia. Katniss runs the other way into the forest but is hunted by the career tributes Marvel, Glimmer, Cato, and Clove. Love those names. Those are some YA book names. Who have seemingly kind of formed this alliance with PETA. So they're all working together.
Which is like shocking to Katniss.
Yeah.
And also, Cato is kind of positioned as the number one career. Like, he's the one to beat a little bit.
Yeah, he's kind of giving like alpha male.
A little bit, yeah. So Katniss climbs a tree to escape them. They want to kill her. And PETA suggests to the careers that they should just wait her out at the bottom of the tree, saying like, well, she has to come down at some point, and like, we'll just kill her when she comes down. But Katniss discovers that the female tribute from District 11, Rue, is hiding in the next tree. Rue is played by Amanda Stenberg, and Rue is a 12-year-old
Yeah,
tribute.
She's the youngest tribute in the games.
And Amanda Stenberg is the most adorable little, like, has this sweet little face.
Oh my God. It's crazy to think that like we were the same age Rue was.
Yeah.
And we were all like, oh my God, Rue, like little girl. Like we're the same age.
We're all the same age. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also like so perfectly cast.
She's great. She's exactly what you picked. I mean, what I pictured when I read the book. Like, exactly.
No, exactly.
She has these big, wide eyes that are
she
just
so
has this,
innocent.
Like,
great innocence about her. Yeah.
And Rue really stands out even in training as like being very young and innocent. So Rue alerts Katniss to a nest of tracker jackers, which are genetically modified wasps hanging from a branch above her. And Katniss cuts the branch down and drops the nest onto the careers while they're sleeping. And Glimmer, who's the girl from District 1, ends up dying from the stings, but everyone else escapes. Katniss uses that opportunity to steal Glimmer's bow and arrows, literally prise them from her cold, dead fingers.
Later, Rue finds Katniss and helps her recover because
Katniss had been stung by the tracker jackers and was like injured.
She was like hallucinating, which is like probably my least favorite part of the movie.
It's a little stupid.
Yeah, but whatever. So Rue and Katniss come up with a plan for Rue to distract the careers while Katniss destroys their supply stockpile. So they kind of like have taken over the cornucopia and kept all their food, weapons, everything there. However, Marvel finds and kills Rue before Katniss can stop him. I have in my notes, here come the waterworks. How can you not cry?
Everyone cries. I cried.
So Rue, from her injury, dies. After Rue's death, Katniss decorates her body with flowers, which sparks a riot in District 11.
I mean,
sorry.
I
think the way it's written is like Katniss is decorating the flowers sparks the riot. It's more so Rue's death.
Well, Rue's death and the fact that Katniss honors her by decorating her with flowers humanizes her in a way that the Hunger Games tributes historically have not been humanized.
Katniss's relationship with Rue is so sweet. I mean, she really, from the second she meets her, like kind of just takes her in.
I know we talked about this a little bit before filming. It's not even a nitpick. It's just something I really would have liked to have seen. So in the book, we get so much narration about how Rue reminds Katniss of her little sister Prim, and that Katniss almost sees Rue as some sort of like embodiment of Prim. They're both the same age. They're both very innocent and young. I would have loved in the movie to maybe get a shot of like Katniss turning to look at Rue and for a moment seeing Prim. And I feel like that would have really done a great job at communicating that. We have to just infer it. It's never really made clear like how much she sees Prim in Rue. I really would have liked just that moment, just like a little shot where she like turns and sees Prim, but it's Rue.
Yeah.
I would have liked that. I feel like it would have just like added some interiority to what honestly amounts to like brief scenes between them.
I mean, that's the classic like suffering book to movie
adaptation. Of course. I just think that there would have been a quick, easy way to do it, and I wish that they had.
Yeah, I totally understand.
And like right away, we would have understood her mindset about Rue and why Rue's death affected her so much beyond Rue just being like young and really sweet. So Panem president Coriolanus Snow, who's played by Donald Sutherland, is greatly displeased by the riots in District 11 that have occurred since Rue's death. He gives a warning to the game master, Seneca Crane, played by Wes Bentley, who has a fantastic beard.
So perfectly Hunger Games.
It's wonderful. And to appease the audience and kind of divert their attention from Rue's death, which Katniss is in the arena mourning. Like, she is inconsolable. Mm-hmm. Crane talks to Haymitch, who convinces him that maybe another angle is needed. Another plot line, so to speak, in the television show. Crane makes an announcement to the tributes. This year, 2 victors can be crowned if they're from the same district. So this is sort of Haymitch's attempt to hope that one or both of the District 12 tributes can survive, saying, hey, listen, I know right now if you kill Katniss, now she'll be a martyr because
because everyone's throwing riots because of her actions.
And everyone like loves her and Rue's relationship. Maybe like put her into a new plot. Like let's get another plot line going.
Yeah, he's pushing that star-crossed lovers thing again.
He's saying like young love is like something to root for. So, and he knows like if Crane makes this announcement, if he says 2 people can win if they're from the same district, obviously Katniss and Peeta will try to find each other because hey, now they can both survive. And Peeta is no longer hanging out with the careers.
Yeah, which is exactly what she does. She immediately runs to go find Peeta. She very quickly finds him. However, Peeta is severely wounded from a fight with Cato and takes him into a cave. She finds him in the most hilarious way.
How did he get the paint?
He's disguised as a rock and
fully camouflaged as a rock. Who provided this for him?
Also, he's like very severely wounded. So you're going to tell me he was bleeding out and painting his face in the river?
And he was like, wait, the shading.
Yeah. This is such a quick side story, but I have to say it. When these movies were coming out, I was probably in middle school. Yeah, I was in middle school. And in science, we were learning about like different types of rock, like igneous, and the other 2.
You know what? No, I don't. What are the other 2, Maggie?
Well, I don't know the third one. It's igneous, sedimentary, and
nice.
begins with an M.
No, I don't know any of them, but I just think it's funny that you named
I was
one.
like, igneous, next.
The other ones.
But I bring it up because we watched this like awful, like really old, cheesy, like skit video. And in the skit video, the sedimentary rock guy, and it's also a musical, has like
wait, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they like each rock like sings a song about their rock. So
Can we watch that for an episode?
Please. Oh my God, please. I wonder if it's like on the internet somewhere.
It probably is.
And the guy who's sedimentary rock is like exactly what Peeta looks like. So everyone at my school when these movies came out was like, oh my God, sedimentary rock. Like we kept singing it.
That is so funny.
So shout out to that video. So she finds Peeta. He's severely wounded. They go into the cave together. Thinking he might die, Katniss impulsively kisses him. A moment later, they receive a pot of broth sent from Haymitch, and Katniss realizes that Haymitch will reward them for kind of like playing into this romance plot line.
Well, and honestly, great plan on Haymitch's part. Like to say like, hey guys, like keep this up. Like people are liking it.
Yeah.
So the next morning, another announcement is made. Each tribute will find an item that they desperately need at the cornucopia. And this is obvious. The numbers are dwindling.
Yeah.
There are not that many tributes left. Most of them are dead. So Seneca Crane, like the game makers, need to find ways to bring them together. So this is clearly a ploy on their part to just like get another death.
Yeah.
But he's saying every tribute has something that they need at the cornucopia. Katniss realizes like, oh, probably medicine for Peeta, who's like dying from an infected stab wound. And she decides she's going to go get the medicine despite Peeta telling her not to go. When she's there, she's ambushed by Clove, who is the girl from District 2. And Cato and Clove are the only other pair.
They're
like,
the only other careers left, I'm pretty sure.
They're the only careers left and the only other pair from the same district.
I thought Cato and Glimmer were from the same district.
No, Cato's District 2. Marvel and Glimmer are District 1.
Yes, okay.
Mm-hmm. So Clove ambushes her, but before she can kill her, District 11's male tribute, Thresh, appears and murders Clove, but decides to spare Katniss for what she did for Rue.
Oh, so satisfying, that scene.
The medicine ends up healing Peeta overnight. How the hell did he know? He's in the arena. How did he know that Katniss and Rue had a relationship? How would he know? They didn't interact with him.
I guess that's true. Wait, how does he know that? I'm only imagining a sponsor just like wrote a letter and sent it to him in the arena.
I mean, I guess you have to imagine. Because like there is no explanation for why he knows. We have to imagine that a sponsor wrote him a letter and told him.
Or, you know, or
I don't know, he's like hiding in the trees.
Yeah.
Like,
or the only other thing is the other people in the arena are like gossiping right before they kill each other. They're like, before I kill you, I just have to let you know what Katniss did for real.
Like, wait,
yeah.
Have you heard?
Have you heard what's going on? The next day, with only 4 tributes remaining, Crane unleashes genetically engineered dog-like mutts, which kill Thresh. Katniss, Peeta, and Cato are the last survivors. They flee to the roof of the cornucopia where Katniss and Peeta work together to defeat Cato. Suddenly, Crane makes another announcement. He basically says, actually, I'm going to take backsies on this.
No, like the moment that Cato is dead.
Yeah. He revokes the 2 Victor rule change. So he's basically like, I actually lied. Only one of you can survive and win. Peeta urges Katniss to shoot him, but Katniss suggests that they eat poisonous nightlock berries instead and basically like just be like, fuck this. Let's just, they want a winner so bad, we're not going to give it to them.
Yeah.
Well, smart move, honestly.
Incredibly smart
move.
Like,
they need a winner.
Yeah. That's kind of the whole point of the Hunger Games, is to show the illusion of social mobility for like the one kid who can kill all the other kids.
So right before they take the berries, Crane hurriedly declares them co-victors. It's so funny. He's literally like, wait, like on the announcement.
Yeah.
Katniss and Peeta are now allowed to return home. They've both won the games. However, Haymitch warns Katniss about the very powerful enemies that she's made, saying that this is far from over.
Sounds like a sequel's in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Hunger Games is really good. I think it's I would personally give this like a 6.5 out of 10.
I think it a 7.
Fair enough. Super entertaining movie, really well paced. My only complaint is maybe we didn't get enough time with some of the side characters. Like, I would have liked to have seen more of the time that Katniss and Rue spent together so that we could really understand why she's mourning her when she dies. I would have liked to have fleshed out the other tributes more, as much as they were in the books. We just got a little more background or time with them.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is honestly by far the best movie in the YA film adaptation canon. It's quite a good movie.
You know what? It's just a competent movie. Like, they clearly weren't just trying to take whatever they thought worked from the book. They were clearly trying to also make a good movie. And I think that's why the performances are really great. You know, Katniss, Peeta, Haymitch, Effie, so many characters are so well rounded. You can tell that the actors...
Even there's this great moment with Cato at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where this guy who's been this kind of like big bad through the entire games, we get this moment where it's like, oh, he's a kid who was told that winning this would be an honor.
Yeah.
And he's done nothing his entire life but train to participate in these games. And we get to spend the moment before he knows he's going to die. And it's brutal. Like, it's actually a brutal moment with him. And I loved that. Like, I loved that we got some background on him. And they cast really competent actors in pretty much every role.
I think it's really hard for an actor. Okay. I know it's not like hard to be an actor. Like, they made so much money off this movie and stuff. But I think it's really hard when books, very popular, very loved books, are adapted into movies, because you're taking a character that so many people have such a specific version of in their heads.
Yeah.
And you have to bear that responsibility.
I mean, we've talked about in the past how difficult it is to adapt something, and how kind of a perfect adaptation isn't really possible.
And it doesn't have to be possible, but I do give, again, the actors in this movie specifically a lot of credit, because I think it would have been very easy to just play into what, and I think this is the problem with later movies, with book to movie adaptations, is they just kind of take what the public and the fandom and social media have kind of put out about what they want these characters to be,
and what has already been decided. Exactly. Whatever formula that it's been decided already works.
And I feel like they just check off boxes, rather than in this movie, it's so clear that they approached it as actors. They looked at these characters and really wanted to make them as fleshed out as possible. Yeah. And it was just like really fun and nostalgic to watch this movie.
It was. I have nitpicks.
Of course,
I'm gonna be quick, guys. I'll be very quick. There is born identity levels of shaky cam. It is so fucking shaky. Oh my god! And like, very clearly, this was done to keep the PG-13 rating.
Yes.
There is so much shaky cam in any moments of extreme violence. Obviously, the movie is about children being forced to murder each other. There are moments of extreme violence that the filmmakers seem to really go to lengths to mollify. if that's the right word. Yeah, fine, that works. Yeah, that is kind of my major problem with the movie. I don't think that the games were brutal enough.
Yes, but you have to remember this is a book for teens.
But I thought the book had some really disturbing elements.
Of course it did, but you can't put that on screen and then have a PG-13 rating.
That's what I'm saying. I think the PG-13 rating held the movie back from being a great dystopian movie.
Yes, but then you can't get your teen audience.
No, I'm aware of
Yeah.
Like, I'm well aware of that, but I'm saying that I think that is what held it back from being a really great movie.
I agree with you. It's just that I think it's that thing like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
I have a quote that I want to read from a review that really verbalized like my exact feelings about the movie and about how the violence was handled. So Anton Bitel wrote for his review in BFI Sight and Sound that a film built around a grand spectacle of violence, brutality, and death kind of can't be a film that carefully avoids reproducing the spectacle for its young, impressionable viewers. Combat scenes are largely presented in a blurry, handheld style that implies carnage without showing it, which is true. It's implied carnage. We never really see the extent of the violence. I know the second movie they were able to show a little bit more because it was adults killing each other. But I think the fact that it was children, they really had to hold back on the violence.
It's also the first movie. They probably just wanted to play it safe.
Exactly. And I just think that the most disturbing elements of the movie for me are seeing all the kids go out for the interview. I found that horribly disturbing. Like these kids that you're sending them all out to slaughter. And they have to put on a show for like these people that are all cheering for them
and like be likable and like super relatable. I love when Katniss is so like numb on that stage. She almost looks like she's like just woken up from a coma.
She's fully like almost in a trance.
Yeah, and she almost can't even like believe she's in this like gorgeous like designer dress. And she's expected to go out there and like smile, and meanwhile she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
like, I have no serious problems with this movie, but it's hard not to look at it with rose-colored glasses.
Of course,
like
yeah.
I really, this movie came out at such a weird, influential time for us. I as an adult now, it would be exciting to see a more violent, bloody, and now again it's been so long, but I am remembering a few things from the book and how very intense it was. So,
I mean, they even all the Capitol servants who had their tongues cut out, they didn't include them in the film.
Or, I mean, those genetic dogs are the corpses of the other tributes that
or like they
died.
had the faces
of
which
the
is
dead
like tributes.
So messed up.
It's really messed up and is very disturbing for Katniss.
But still, I have fun watching this movie. And it's definitely something I was kind of like, I forgot how good it is. So I'll definitely kind of return to it.
No, same. I do think it's a really good film. And I think it is really good for the PG-13 rating. That is just my, as a movie watcher and enjoyer, I would have liked to have seen, I would love to see an R-rated version of this film.
I don't blame you.
That's just me personally, though. But still really great film. And I was a big Hunger Games girl. This was, I mean,
who wasn't? Like, seriously, who wasn't at least somewhat into the Hunger Games when we were around this age?
There was a point where, especially when the movie was coming out, you had to be. Like, everyone was at some point.
All right. Well, now let's get into the copycats.
Yeah.
Those who came after and just never really got to that level.
I have a quote.
I have another quote.
Shocking, I know. This one is from Savannah Walsh for Vanity Fair. She wrote an excellent article for anyone who's more interested in talking about the Hunger Games in conversation with other YA copycats. It's called "Nobody Ever Found the Next Hunger Games, but boy did they try," which is
a great article.
It's really good.
Yeah.
She says, in 2013 and 2014, there were no less than 8 teen-centered sci-fi/fantasy films based on best-selling books crammed into theaters. In those 2 years, we got Ender's Game, The Maze Runner, The Giver, The Host, Beautiful Creatures, Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, and Divergent. Or sorry, Mortal Instruments, City of Bones is one movie.
But I've seen most of those.
Same.
They suck.
Yeah.
Like, really, the best is like kind of somewhat above mid, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. All of these films adhered to a similar formula. Promising up-and-coming actors played heroic and or divinely gifted special teenagers with the power to stop a tyrannical leader and or oppressive government structure. Some were set in the future, others in an alternate universe. Most lured in veteran stars for scenery-chewing supporting roles and hedged in a watered-down love triangle. All were angling for a piece of the Hunger Games pie. And boy, is that true for Divergent, the next movie we're going to talk about, which was kind of positioned as the successor to the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when this movie came out, it was so insanely hyped up.
It was huge, yeah.
Huge, yeah. Again, I'm 95% sure I read the book because I was like, everyone was like, oh my God, Divergent's being made into a movie. And
I think
like,
I did too.
I was like, I got to read this book. And then I never read another one because it wasn't good.
It's not very good. I read the first one and I read like the beginning of the second one and then I kind of fell like
dropped it. Yeah.
I just dropped it. It's not very good.
No. Especially
sorry for any
it.
Divergent heads out there, but actually not sorry.
Right.
It's like really not that
good. Especially when you compare, and it's going to be hard not to compare The Hunger Games to the other two movies we're talking about, but comparing the world building, as we said.
I'll get into it in a moment if you want to kick us off with the plot.
Yes. So Divergent came out in the year 2014, and like we said, it's a sci-fi action just like The Hunger Games. It was directed by Neil Berger, and it was written by Evan Doherty and Vanessa Taylor, based on the 2011 novel of the same name, which was written by Veronica Roth.
Okay, so Divergent was distributed through Summit Entertainment, which was owned by Lionsgate. Summit bought the rights to Divergent in 2011 while they were concluding the Twilight franchise. So Lionsgate also produced The Hunger Games. They bought Summit. So then at some point, Lionsgate owned Twilight, Hunger Games, and Divergent. They were really closing in on this YA market.
Oh, that CEO was bathing in money. I mean, probably wiping his butt with $100 bills.
So Divergent received a wide theatrical release in March 2014, and it grossed around $290 million against an $85 million budget. So not Hunger Games numbers, but it was still a financial success.
This movie is like the epitome of a victim of its time.
Yeah.
It was I was insanely nostalgic watching this. You really just had to be there in 2014.
Yeah.
Like the casting, everything about it, like the effects.
It was made for Tumblr.
But nothing more than the music. The music in this fucking killed me. Like every time the soundtrack came in, I was cracking up. It's almost like to the point where something intense would happen and then whatever song they chose to play, it felt like an SNL skit. Like I was like, why is Ellie Goulding playing when like they just killed someone? It was hilarious. And you guys, I was eating it up in 2013. Like 13-year-old me was like, this is the peak of filmmaking. And you know why? Like, it was just like Shailene Woodley was that girl.
No,
like,
she was. I mean, The Fault in Our Stars and Divergent came out in the same year.
No, she had like a year span where she was just the Hollywood it girl for like young, like preteen teenage girls.
Low-key, I like Shailene Woodley.
I do too.
And I mean, I think, spoiler alert, I think this movie is a piece of dog shit. Like, it's a terrible movie. I truly hated every second of it. But I will say, I actually found Shailene Woodley quite charming at points. You can tell like her. She's trying. She's really trying.
Yeah. And I actually think she does give like good bits of performance here and there.
I think she's honestly kind of an underrated actress. I know we all kind of think of her as that time, but she's done great work in Big Little Lies.
Oh, she's amazing in that.
She's done great work, and I'm sure other things I haven't seen, but I quite like her. I find her charming. I really do.
I do. I find her very likable.
She has very expressive eyes.
Even like I think all the actors in this are competent actors.
They're fine.
I mean, like,
I've seen most of them be better in other things.
Exactly. So I'm kind of like, it's just such a perfect mess. Like,
it really is.
I had fun watching this movie. I agree with you. It's not good at all. But I did just have like a really fun time watching it because I was like, oh my God, watching this for the first time in like, I don't know, 12 years, like almost 13 years is so weird and so fun. And it's kind of like a so bad it's good kind of thing.
Fair enough. So, in my opinion, the difference in quality between Divergent and The Hunger Games is just immediately evident the moment the film starts. So Divergent takes place in a futuristic dystopian version of Chicago, where society is divided into 5 factions. Abnegation, the selfless. Amity, the kind. Candor, the honest. Dauntless, the brave.
Okay.
And erudite, the intelligent. So they're all divided by personality traits, essentially. The remaining population are the factionless, and they hold no status or privilege. They're essentially homeless. Like, they live on the streets
they literally
in
are just
squalor.
homeless people.
Yeah. And upon turning 16, which for some reason in dystopian fiction is like a big age, children are forced to undergo this serum-induced psychological aptitude test that reveals the faction that they're best suited for, although they can choose to join any faction during the choosing ceremony. So children are like raised within one faction, but if the test shows something else or they just decide they want to go somewhere else, they can.
When I was watching this in my notes, I was like, what is the point of doing this like serum test if they can just choose? I guess like because
it'll help them
influence them. Yeah, but
I guess. I don't know. For me, so immediately this setup, this world does not work for me because it is not based on anything recognizable in the real world.
No, nothing relatable.
Like for The Hunger Games is about wealth disparity and war and sensationalism and propaganda. What is this about? Your personality? Like, I don't even know. And
I think it's supposed to be about like free thinkers, but like, what?
I'm so confused. And it's so obviously just like pandering to teenage girls because every teenage girl is like, I'm secretly more special and different than all the other teenage girls.
No, literally, like that's basically the plot is like, oh my gosh, well, are you like basic like everyone else? Or do you like have a little bit of everything in you? You're brave, you're kind, you're intelligent, and you're selfless.
And they're like, no, you can't be brave and smart. You have to be one.
You can't be kind and caring, like as if they're not like very similar things.
You can't be like selfless and honest.
Yeah. Like
what the hell?
I also love how all of them are so color coded too.
Yeah, like
abnegation wears gray,
mm-hmm.
Erudite wears blue, and nothing else.
No, and like they all have uniforms and like cannot do anything else. No, it's ridiculous, and I really think that this was simply just created because they knew that this concept would appeal to teenage girls because every single teenage girl thinks that she's different than all the other teenage girls.
I'm literally just remembering.
I'm no longer a teenage girl, and I'm still like I'm different.
In my old Instagram likes, I swear to God, there was one of those like Tumblr things where it was like, be brave like Dauntless, be kind like, you know, whatever, be selfless like, and me liking it like, yes, I will be like that.
I'm all of the things.
I am Divergent. So our heroine is Beatrice Pryor, played by Shailene Woodley. She was raised in Abnegation, the faction that runs the government.
They're the selfless ones.
Yes, the ones that wear gray.
Mm-hmm.
When Beatrice is tested after her 16th birthday, her results show that she is equally suited to multiple factions, you know, Erudite, Dauntless, Abnegation, making her a Divergent. The proctor
because most people are only suited to one.
Yes,
but she's
different.
Special.
So the proctor of her test, a dauntless woman, warns Beatrice to not reveal these test results to anybody. Divergents are seen as a threat to the social order because they can think independently.
So this entire beginning section, like the entire world setup, is narrated by Triss.
Yes.
The first 10 minutes of the movie are full narration. She verbally explains to you the entire world, the fact that she's about to take this test and that she's nervous to take this test. Like, she not only tells you about the world, she also tells you about her own feelings about the world. And for a second, I'm like, is this my so-called life? Like, what is this? Why is she telling us her feelings? Like, who are we to her?
Yeah, it's a very weird, cheap narration.
It never comes back.
No.
After this section, there is no more narration. And yeah, so essentially it was just lazy writing. Which honestly, I'm like, I think that having like a My So-Called Life narration through the whole thing maybe would have made this more entertaining for me.
Yeah, a bit more interesting. Also, this is the smallest note, but I have to include it. Beatrice's thing, abnegation, not allowed to look in a mirror. It's something to do with like vanity.
Oh my God. And there's the most stupid fucking piece of dialogue about it.
But also, her and her mother are so clearly have like a smoky eye. So what do you mean they don't look in the mirror every day? They're so clearly wearing makeup. Like, I was like, what do you mean? I can see it on your eyes, Ashley Judd. You have eyeliner on.
There's this really stupid piece of dialogue too when she goes in for the test and there's like a mirror in there. And the test is so stupid. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's so dumb and it kind of makes no sense. Like, we really don't get to see like her divergence being special when she kind of makes like a very reasonable decision in the test.
Also, it like makes me think like, what are the other, because later in the test another character is like, here's how the Dauntless would do the test, and I'm like, so how the fuck would the other people do the test? Because those seem like the only ways out of these situations.
Yeah. Also, why didn't the proctor of the test just lie to her?
Oh, and say like, oh, you got this?
Yeah, because the proctor is the one who tells her she's divergent and then is like, and this is dangerous if anyone knows.
Well,
like, so why did you tell her?
Because it's revealed later that her brother was, and then he died because he was revealed through the test. So I actually do kind of get that. But you think she would be like, just tell people you got this? Like,
yeah, she'd just be like, nope, you're abnegation. Like,
yeah,
bye.
Yeah.
And then it's no one's problem.
Right. Right. And then the movie ends.
Yeah. So the next day, Beatrice and her brother Caleb, who's played by Ansel Elgort, and they're like the same age, I guess, attend the choosing ceremony. And to the shock of their parents, Caleb chooses Erudite and Tris chooses Dauntless, they all wear black and they run everywhere. They don't walk. You never see them walk once. They never run see them walk everywhere.
And they're always whooping and hollering. I was like, these are the people that do like parkour all the time.
No, the way I would hate them.
Oh no, they're so obnoxious.
And we get some voiceover at the beginning from Tris where she's like, I always wanted to join Dauntless. And I'm like, and you just see them like running and yelling. And
they're also
that looks like hell.
The police. That's like kind of their thing.
We see them do no policing.
I was going to say, are they police? Because all they do is just kind of like create havoc.
They kind of just like fuck around.
Yeah.
And like that's what they do.
Before they can enter the faction headquarters, the new Dauntless initiates are made to jump onto a moving train and then off of a roof. They actually have a line where they're like, we just jumped and they want us to jump again. I'm like, I love when the movie points out its own bad writing.
Yeah.
Like, so once there, they meet the instructors, For and Eric, played by Theo James and Jai Courtney.
And you did hear that right. His name is For, and we're supposed to think it's cool.
Listen. Yeah, I really don't have anything to say.
There's this really dumb line where this like other initiate who's played by Zoe Kravitz is like, what, were 1 through 3 taken?
And he crashes out, so he's like, shut your fucking mouth. Don't fucking say that to me again. He literally is like, if you know what's good for you, you'll never talk to me.
And it's like that was the most stupid comment too.
No,
like that was like a joke that no one would have made.
Yeah. And I do love how angry he gets.
Oh, he gets so upset.
He almost hits her. Like, he gets so mad. I'm like, damn, we touched a nerve there.
Also, like, no one likes this Zoe Kravitz character when she makes like very innocuous side comments that are like never really as scathing as the movie wants us to think they are. And everyone always freaks out and like hates her. Yeah. And it's like, okay, guys, calm down.
So For and Eric explain that no one gets automatic entry into the faction. Initiates will be scored every day and only the top 21 will be admitted at the end of the training period, which like, I guess I understand if you're the police of this entire city.
I mean, I guess, but it probably would have been helpful for literally anyone to know that before they all signed up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as far as we know, every other faction, you just have to like say you want to be in it at the choosing ceremony.
And then it's like, figure it out.
And then you're in. But in Dauntless, it's like, well, if you're not good enough, then you'll just be factionless for the rest of your life, which is homeless.
Beatrice decides to change her name to Tris to signify that she is starting a new life in Dauntless. She's badass.
Triss makes friends with the other transfer initiates, Christina and Albert, who are played by Zoe Kravitz, as we said, and Ben Lloyd Hughes, who's both of these actors are people who you've seen be better in other things. She initially struggles in Dauntless training, and she ranks far below the cutoff after the first evaluation. And it's around this point that I made the note when I was watching, why is every single line exposition? Which is true. Every single line is exposition for something. There really is there are no character building moments. Everything is exposition.
When Eric matches Triss against a Candor transfer and a notorious bully named Peter, who's played by Miles Teller,
who honestly seems like he's having a lot of fun and has, I will say, some very good line readings.
I was gonna say he is one of the actors who's like doing the better job.
Agreed.
Yeah. So he is paired up with Trish for a fight session. Triss is brutally defeated and ends up in the infirmary, but she sneaks out to participate in Capture the Flag, which, like, what are these tests? Like, they're playing Capture the Flag.
And apparently, Capture the Flag is like a big deal for rankings.
Yeah. Okay. She ends up securing her team's victory and makes the final cut into the next training phase.
So yeah, she's kind of all of a sudden good when she's only been shown to have been struggling really up until this point.
I mean, like, we get like one quick scene of her like training and stuff like that, but it is astronomical how she goes from being the literal worst to being like, I think there's like 50 people and she's in the top 20.
Yeah, and they're implying that 4 is like helping her a little bit, but we only ever see 4 give her like one piece of advice.
They also have a very, you know,
some
relationship.
Romantic tension is growing between this 16-year-old and this man in his late 20s.
Yeah, you can only assume. Okay, I will say though, like 13-year-old me was eating that up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Theo James is ridiculously good looking.
I feel like he is. I don't know. He doesn't do it for me. There's something, especially in this movie, I'm like, there's something so manufactured about you.
Well, he is also so robotic in this movie. He is another actor who
we've seen be better in other things.
Better,
yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, his White Lotus season, he was awesome.
He's just, I think he's just a much better actor than he is shown here.
He's another one too. It's like, oh, you're doing the best you can with like very poorly written dialogue.
I was gonna say, I think the biggest flaw that the character 4 has for being our leading man is I think the movie was so obsessed with making him hot, tough leading man.
Yes,
they strip him of any humanity.
I mean, he's so white bread. Like,
even when they try to make him more interesting, I'm like, am I supposed to care?
Yeah.
What does this have to do with anything?
So for the next training phase, which Triss has made the cut for, the initiates are forced to confront their fears in psychological simulations. So basically like the test that Triss had to do at the beginning, but again now.
Like multiple times.
And like slightly different.
Also, I'm sorry, were the effects always so cheap looking?
Yes.
Yikes.
No, because I was like 12 and I remember thinking in the theater that the effects were
cheap
cheap looking.
Not age well.
So Triss's divergence enables her to creatively navigate these mental tests, but 4 warns her that she has to conceal her abilities. Like he's like kind of, I don't know, they have a monitor that he can watch her brain activity. I don't know. And he like realizes that she's divergent and he
can see her in the simulation, I think.
Tell me how that makes sense. It doesn't is the answer. Triss also at around this time visits her brother Caleb, who's at Erudite now, and Caleb tells her that Erudite is like planning to overthrow abnegation.
Yeah, they're basically staging a coup.
Yeah, because they're like, the selfless shouldn't be in charge, the smart people should be in charge, which is honestly like a very like, this is the most interesting that the movie gets, because this is fully like Eastern versus Western philosophies. Like, who should be in charge? The smartest and the most ambitious, or the selfless and the people who will literally put themselves on the line for other people? Mm-hmm. Like, who is a better government?
Yeah.
That's the most interesting argument that the film raises, but we don't explore it at all beyond the very, very surface level.
No, we're too busy seeing Triss and 4 get together. So to prepare her for the final test, 4 shows Triss his fear simulations. She learns that his name is Tobias Eaton and that his father used to beat him. So this is like a plot point. Like, basically in abnegation, the mayor is like accused of like beating his son that he may or may not have had.
Yeah.
And
the erudites are like using that as like
to be like they're not fit for the government. And so when this reveal happened, I think it was supposed to be bigger, and I was literally, this was the part where I was like, are we supposed to care? What does this have to do with literally anything? And I think it was one of those scenes where we were trying to like get more about For's character, but I'm sorry, having a tragic background doesn't just make you a more interesting character, especially because For like is so one note.
And at this point, we know nothing about him really.
No, nothing.
And he's, yeah, as you said, very one note. So adding this like one layer doesn't really, I don't know, a twist like that is only interesting when that can give context for things that we've already seen. But we haven't seen anything interesting from him. It's just kind of been the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So then learning this, it's like, okay, but what does that tell me about who you are today?
Exactly. Beatrice ends up passing her test, and she is officially a part of Dauntless. The Dauntless recruits are then injected with a serum from Uridite, which is supposedly for tracking, but actually has this like mind control effect.
It's so stupid.
The next day, the Dauntless are forced to attack Abnegation under the orders of Uridites. So basically, like they're enforcing this coup. And then the serum actually, of course, fails to affect the Divergents. Triss is not mind controlled. She finds For, who is also pretending to be under control, but actually did not take the serum. When Dauntless raid Abnegation, they split from their group to find Triss's parents. For gets captured, but Triss's mother saves her. However, she is later killed during their escape. This is like the scene where Shailene Woodley is like clearly showing that she's a good actress.
Yeah.
And just in a bad movie, because her scene where she's crying over her dead mom's body, like, I was like, oh, you're actually good.
Yeah, no, I thought the exact same thing. Like,
Yeah.
she was really selling it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Triss also finds her father hiding with Caleb, her brother, and other Abnegation members. The group sneaks into Dauntless headquarters, where Triss encounters Peter, who's like the guy that bullied her, and forces him to lead them to Erudite's control center. So he's like an Erudite that defected to Dauntless and then was mean to Triss for like being weak. I don't know.
Okay.
We never really got a reason why he bullied Triss so much. Like,
No, really?
other
Nothing.
than the fact that she's Abnegation, like, okay, I guess, but you clearly have no ties to Erudite, so like, why do you care?
Isn't he from Candor? Like,
No, Christina's from Candor. I think he is from Erudite. So they're at Erudite's control center. Triss's father sacrifices himself in a shootout, so Triss is now an orphan and must go alone to find For, who has been captured and is now under mind control.
So using her knowledge of his fears, Triss manages to wake him up from the mind control and uses a sample of the serum to enforce the Uridite leader, Janine, who's played by Kate Winslet. She's kind of our President Snow.
Yeah, and
of
you
this
did
world.
not mishear. Kate Winslet.
Yes, Oscar-winning Kate Winslet
is in this movie.
In the most boring villain role I've ever seen.
It's so one note. It's so nothing.
Oh my
Kate
God.
Winslet is not even
She
trying.
clearly doesn't even care, yeah.
No.
So she puts the serum in Kate Winslet's neck to get her under the mind control to cancel the program so that the Dauntless won't kill all these innocent people. The film ends with the group escaping the compound and boarding a train out of the complex, where that narration actually does come back.
That's right. I forgot
Look at
about
that. It's
I'm
actually
so
a
sorry.
good movie, Olivia.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's just such a bad movie. I mean, it's
really bad. I think in my memory, because neither of us had seen, we're going to talk about Uglies next, which neither of us had seen before watching it.
It just came out last year, so.
And you know what? I had no plans on seeing it.
No. Oh, no, never.
I guess in my head, I thought, The Hunger Games is obviously the best one. Even when I was younger, I didn't think that this was nearly as good as The Hunger Games, even though some of my friends tried to convince me otherwise. So going into these movies, I knew that Divergent wasn't as good as The Hunger Games, and I knew that Uglies was considered to be bad. I figured Divergent would sit kind of nestled right in between The Hunger Games and Uglies quality-wise. I was dead wrong. Uglies and Divergent are on the same plane of bad movie. I did not think one was better than the other. I think they are equally stupid, and The Hunger Games is quite good. I really didn't enjoy this. I did like some of, as you said earlier, I like some of the mic drops for nostalgic reasons. Other than that, this movie is just really not good. And like, I really kind of had survived in my memory as being okay. Mm-hmm. And I almost regret ruining it for myself.
You know, it's funny. I don't think this is a good movie at all. I would agree with you that I don't think I agree that it's on the same plane of Uglies, just because I think it's a garbage movie, but
I have them as the same rating.
I mean, that movie is maybe it's just because I watched it this time after not seeing it literally since it came out in theaters, but watching it, it was more so like a blast back in time. I was like, oh my God, like it's so funny to watch this movie and be so into it when I was 13.
It is.
If I watched it again right now, I think I would be like, you'd be like, that, don't make me sit through that again. That was a piece of shit. But
I think I was just surprised by how bad it is.
No, it was. I kind of found it funny. So it was a bit more entertaining. And again, it was so nostalgic for me. I was kind of like, this is hilarious. Like the fact that I was ever like, this movie is incredible when it's so bad.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it on the same plane as Uglies because there's always going to be that nostalgic kind of humor for me, but it's in no way a good movie. I gave it a 2 out of 10. I said it's garbage, but it's the kind of garbage that I have fun with.
Fair enough. And you know what? One thing I will say is it's not boring.
It's not boring. And you know what?
It's not boring because the plot moves at like breakneck speed. Like we really speed through a lot of what maybe could have been emotionally resonant plot beats.
Oh, yes.
We waste no time with plot and with character.
Oh no.
No, it's all about
For's abs. Like literally, I mean, I'm sorry. Like that is kind of.
We do spend a lot of time just like lingering on For.
Here's the thing,
in like low key, quite an objectifying way.
Oh no, like Theo James like is purely objectifying this movie. It's a little sad.
It honestly is.
Like more than Triss, which is crazy. I will say this.
Well, I think that's the thing is the audience is Triss because like the audience are the young girls who want to be Triss who get to ogle For.
So I will say this in defense of the movie we're going to talk about next. I think Theo James and Shailene Woodley don't have good chemistry.
They have no chemistry.
I do think that the movie does a better job than Uglies in showing how their relationship somehow builds.
Yeah.
Because in Uglies, where the fuck did that relationship come from?
Out of nowhere.
No, literally. So I will defend Divergent in that sense.
I think though, interesting thing is in our written plot summaries that we will reference and read from, the Divergent romance didn't even make it into the plot summary. But the Uglies romance does.
Because nothing else happens in Uglies. What happens in that movie? Let's just go.
So this is one of those movies that, in my opinion, should never have been made. This is one of those books that you read and you're like, this could probably never be adapted into a film. And you were right. It couldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. Uglies came out in 2024. Okay. It is a science fiction movie directed by McG and written by Jacob Foreman, Vanessa Taylor, and Whit Anderson. It is based on the 2005 novel of the same name by Scott Westerfield. So as we said earlier, the Uglies series actually predates the Hunger Games.
Sorry, is that the same Vanessa Taylor that wrote Divergent? Because there's also a Vanessa Taylor who wrote Divergent. I'm curious to see if it's maybe the same writer.
I think it might be the same Vanessa Taylor.
Also, I'm sorry, McG?
I was just gonna skate by.
Okay, all right.
I wasn't
we'll
even
just
gonna
ignore
address it.
So Uglies was distributed by Netflix, and it was released exclusively on Netflix in September of 2024. I'm baffled as to why this movie was made. Like you said, and like the Vanity Fair article, says so well. The Hunger Games sparked all these YA dystopian novel movies. So why the fuck is this coming out in 2024? If there was ever a time to jump on that bandwagon,
it was back then.
Oh my God.
Also, the way I would have been so excited about an Uglies movie in middle school.
Oh my God.
And I so don't care now.
Well, the book.
Also, I just want to throw out there, while Maggie was talking about the film, I did look up Miss Vanessa Taylor.
Yes.
She is credited as the writer for both Divergent and Uglies.
Oh my gosh.
And was once nominated for Best Original Screenplay. She wrote the screenplay for Shape of Water.
Oh my God. Girl, what the fuck?
And she's also written for Game of Thrones and was a co-executive producer for seasons 3 and 2. Girl, you can do good things.
Girl, what are you doing with these YA books? I'm baffled. Like, this book came out in 2005. Who the fuck asked for this movie?
No one.
Like, genuinely.
No one asked for it.
I mean, this is clearly a group of suits at Netflix being like, what can we do
to like prey on people's nostalgia?
Yeah. I mean, nostalgia. Again, I barely remember the Uglies books. I read it so fucking long ago. It's not even a sense of... It would have been better if they made another Divergent movie.
Yeah.
I probably would have watched that before I watched the Uglies movie.
They did make multiple other Divergent movies, by the way.
And I never saw another one.
So would you have watched them?
I mean, hey, if they were able to get the gang back together, it would have piqued my interest. If Shailene Woodley would have said yes, I genuinely think I would have been watching.
They made multiple other movies that you chose not to see.
But they were like after. I'm saying like if they like did like a...
If they did one now.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I still wouldn't watch it.
I would be morbidly curious.
Let's set the scene. Prior to the events of Uglies, the world had fallen into chaos. All of Earth's natural resources were exhausted. We never really learn why. To keep humanity alive, scientists created genetically modified orchids that they could use as an energy source. How that works, we don't really know.
We really never learn.
We have to hear about these goddamn orchids so much, though.
It's basically every other line of the movie.
The orchids are, again, as I said, an energy source, and the scientists who created the orchids also created a surgical procedure that enhances human beings in both appearance and fitness. And supposedly this is to prevent prejudice and discrimination, like to basically correct human nature.
Yeah, they basically explained that like even after the Earth was saved with this energy source,
humans weren't.
Yeah, like war broke out because of humans and like their differences. So this surgery fixes that.
The surgery is performed on Uglies, which is the name for anyone who hasn't had the surgery. And when they're 16, the magic age in YA dystopia, they undergo this procedure and are allowed into the major big city, and they live as pretties. So, in the book,
yes,
as I'm sure you remember, as I'm sure a lot of listeners remember, all the pretties looked the same.
Yes, I do remember that part, or at least looking extremely similar. Like,
yes.
It's almost like you only have like certain choices.
Which makes sense if the whole thing was we are correcting differences that divide people. So we're just kind of going to make everyone look the same or similar. That made sense in the book. In the film, obviously they can't do that because they cast actors who are real people. So the pretty procedure in the movies is just like they put like a TikTok filter over the actors. They literally put
like, it's like when you glam, like, you know, that
bold glamour.
Yeah. You know that meme of Toni Collette and she's like in Hereditary and then she's got like the glam filter on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically that.
But that's the thing is like, okay, in what world or society that any viewer can relate to, like, so discrimination, like the only people that are discriminated against because they're not attractive.
No, I wrote in my notes, I go, because they described it as like your most pretty, perfect self. I go, how does being your most pretty, perfect self prevent war? Like, I still don't really understand that concept.
Yeah, like philosophically, it makes no sense, really.
And like you said, in the movie, I could understand if it was like, race isn't a thing, you know.
Which I don't know if they outright say it in the books, but I feel like they imply that they've basically like done away with race through the surgery, which is like, okay, that makes more sense as a dystopian universe.
Right, taking away discrimination, you know, maybe some sort of systematic oppression. But yeah, in the movie, I'm like, wait, genuinely, how does that work?
So like everyone just gets like the bold glamour filter and then like they're all okay, like no more meanness. I don't know.
Okay,
sure.
So our heroine is a 15-year-old ugly named Tally, who is played by Joey Kang, who is desperate to become pretty. Oh, Joey King.
Listen, I'm not going to stand for all the Joey King hate. I think that people are so mean to this girl.
Okay, yes. People
for
are
no reason other than like they're having fun in their mom's basement, like making mean comments on their phone about how like they don't think she's pretty.
No, I
Fuck off,
do not
actually.
stand for that.
Like that's so horrible. That's like one thing I genuinely don't understand is like how do you just like get your rocks off by being nasty to celebrities on the internet for no reason?
Calling people ugly, it's like, okay.
Or like she has a punchable face. Like I just hate her and I don't know why. Like shut up.
Yeah.
Actually, no one asked.
Yeah. I just hate you, bitch. I have no hatred, no animosity towards Joey King.
I honestly think she has done good work in the past.
Yes. Oh yeah. I have seen her given a great performance. I really would love to interview her just about like what her plan for her career is. I have seen her in the most dog shit movies.
Yeah.
Giving, no offense, Joey King, the worst performances I've ever seen. And then she will come out with something like The Act and get a Golden Globe nomination.
She was so
incredible.
good in The Act.
Yeah. I have not seen too much of her work. The stuff I have seen, I feel like I'm getting whiplash. She either gives a really incredible performance in a really well done, incredible movie, TV show, whatever you want to call it. And then she will come out with shit like this. And I'm like, did someone hold you hostage? Is someone blackmailing you, Joey King? What is going on?
I told you, I think I have a theory that she might have had a Netflix deal after The Kissing Booth.
I have to imagine
I really
that's
wouldn't
what
be
this
shocked
was.
because why else would she do this movie?
No, like
why would she do 3 Kissing Booths? I mean, I'm sure they paid her exorbitant amounts
she probably
of money,
signed a contract with that.
Yeah. I don't know if I was hooking up with Jacob Elordi and then like did The Act and like got a Golden Globe nomination. The way I would never
touch this script.
Touch this.
No, I have to believe your theory because like she's famous enough and talented enough to get better deals.
I think that honestly when she has a good script, she's typically good. And she just does a lot of bad movies.
If anyone has like an interview clip of why she decided to do this movie, please,
someone confirm if she has a Netflix deal. I know she does.
Yeah.
Like in my soul, I know she does. Why else would she do this movie?
No.
Why else would Chase Stokes do this movie? He also clearly has a Netflix deal.
Yeah, that has to be the reason.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's genuinely cruel how much people hate on her just because like they think it's funny. And it's like
she gets a lot of unnecessary hate. I'm not hating on her at all.
I don't know. No, I know you're not. Yeah. But I'm just like that's something I really don't understand is like why do we just decide to hate people for no reason? I'm getting on a tangent. We will get back to the movie. But like if you're one of those people, like I think you're cruel.
No, you're actually disgusting.
Yeah,
and
like
it's just like ridiculously embarrassing behavior.
Yeah, I think it's really sad that like that's what makes you laugh or like makes you happy. And like I don't know. She's a real person. And also she's like literally done nothing to anybody.
No,
like,
she's like kind of just like a very unproblematic celebrity.
She literally just like lives her life and like does her movies and does not bother anybody.
Joey King, we've got your back here.
We like you.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't like this movie.
No, not at all.
But we like you. So
we got you, girl.
We know you're watching.
So Tally, like we said, is an ugly, desperate to become pretty. We meet her just as her best friend Paris, played by Chase Stokes, who is 3 months older, leaves for his surgery. The two share scars on their hand, which they vow to keep throughout their procedure. This movie moves at lightning speed.
Yeah.
We never get time to establish anyone's relationships.
No, it's similar to Divergent. Every single piece of dialogue is like world building exposition.
Literally, my second note is, oh my God, this exposition.
It's so bad.
Yeah, the writing I also wrote, was the writing in the book this bad too? Oof, am I just forgetting?
I don't know.
It's been so long now since I've read the book.
Also, weird like plot hole. So everyone gets the procedure on their birthday because there's a whole ceremony that they have to go to. Do they have one of those every day? For everyone who turns 16?
I can only imagine it's like one kid at a time. Like
because like Laverne Cox, who plays like the head scientist of this world, like she like is there.
Yeah.
Like Does she go every day?
I thought she was like the headmaster of the school they're at first. And then I was like, oh no, she's like their president, I guess.
Essentially, she's like their head scientist president person.
So yeah, I have to wonder, is it like, okay, and today Olivia's getting the procedure.
And it's like, what if it's just one person?
No, that's what I mean. Like,
do they also get the speech?
Yeah.
Like,
did their parents collectively decide like, okay, they're all going to be born on this day?
But it's like, why wouldn't it? Because also they're held in this like all the uglies, like the children are held in this like academy before becoming pretty. So it kind of also makes no sense why, okay, the kids in this year shouldn't all get the procedure at the same time.
Yeah.
Because like then all of their educations will be like completely uneven. Like what if one kid has a December birthday?
Yeah.
Then like they're in school for way longer.
Another very quick thing. Tally is super excited for her surgery. She can't wait. She's counting down the days. She's constantly looking at what she'll look like when she's pretty. For someone who is so determined to get that surgery, she breaks every rule in the book. I mean, she literally can't not do what she's not supposed to, which makes no sense for her character.
So yeah, Paris becomes pretty. His birthday was earlier, and months later, Tally is like really anxious to see him because they're besties, and she sneaks into the city. She finds him, she confronts him, but discovers that he's become careless and shallow in the time since he's become pretty, which in the span of this movie is supposed to be like a month. Yeah. And the scar on his hand that he promised to keep so that they would be like twinning with their scars is gone. So he like immediately betrayed her.
No, literally was like, all right, I don't really give a fuck. I'm pretty now.
They had this whole scene where they like promised each other in like this really heartfelt way that they would keep the scars. And okay.
It's been like 2 months and he ditched it.
And also we learn later that you can keep it if you want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you just were lying?
Actively made the choice.
Okay. Tally is discovered in the city as an ugly, and she's chased by the wardens back to the Uglies' dormitories.
Later, she befriends Shay, who's played by Brienne Ju. She's a rebellious ugly who tells her about the Smoke, a land of freedom in tune with nature based on the book Walden by Henry David Thoreau. Shay encourages Tally to reject the surgery and come with her to seek out the Smoke. Tally refuses, and Shay leaves without her. So the Smoke is basically like this like urban legend you can only imagine. Also, Shay and Tally become really close friends really quickly in this montage where they do nothing but skateboard. I literally wrote, I go,
you're not wrong.
I go, are they skateboarding again? This is like the third skateboarding scene in 10 minutes. Like literally, they're like,
no, you're right.
I know what'll cheer you up. And then they went skateboarding again. I was like, is that their entire relationship?
So Tally's 16th birthday finally comes around, and she's like the first person in the history of this world that is denied the procedure when she's 16, which honestly, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, no, I would like go home and cry.
No, I'd freak out. They say that they will not give her the procedure. Dr. Cable, who is the Laverne Cox character, tells her that they won't give it to her until she tells them where Shay is. She is told that David, who is supposedly the leader of the Smoke, is dangerous and that he's building a weapon to destroy the city. So Tally agrees to go to the Smoke as a spy, and she does go. She reunites with Shay, and she meets David, who's played by Keith Powers, who's kind of our four.
Yes. It's funny. When they were talking about David, I kind of thought he would be like an old man.
Same. Like, he's the leader of a rebel group. He probably isn't in his early 20s.
No, like literally. He's supposed to be like... what, 19 here?
And he's like legendary.
Yeah.
It's like, so you created these legends in like what, 2 years? You were a child before then.
I have to say, I said it to you, nothing is worse in these like YA dystopian books than when your character is dumb and boring. And Tally is maybe the worst main character ever. Like she, at least with Divergent, Trish was brave. She always kind of stepped up, even if like whatever.
Fair enough. I was going to say at least Tally has a desire.
I mean, I guess.
Where Trish is like,
but
I mean,
doesn't everybody have the desire to be pretty? Like, isn't everyone?
Well, I think that's the thing. I think that's why the books like were made, is because every teenage girl
but I'm saying
wants
like
to be
in
pretty.
This world everyone wants to be pretty, so it's not like Tally has like a desire that really makes her stand out as our main character.
But she seemed, based on the people we meet, she seems to want it more than others. Do we ever learn why? Not really.
Yes. So I just find it ridiculously frustrating when she's so clearly being manipulated and she's too stupid to see. Like, Laverne Cox's character does not hide her.
She is doing like full mad scientist,
like evil genius.
She's so clearly evil.
Yeah,
she's kind of chewing scenery, which honestly like is the only fun part of this movie.
Go Laverne Cox.
Is like watching Laverne Cox really like ham it up as this evil character, which like I didn't hate. I wish the movie was more like her performance.
Totally. But yeah, I mean, it's so annoying how they're like, well, Shay's in danger, and Tally immediately is like, yeah, I'll go. Like, oh my God, girl. Tally learns that the orchid energy source that is supposedly saving the earth is actually toxic to nature. So rebels from the smoke had set many of them on fire to wipe them out. After Tally and David share a heartfelt moment, quote unquote heartfelt, she renounces the system and rejects her chance to become a pretty. I have to note this. And this is why I was defending Tris and Foreign Divergent. The first scene that we show any type of romance between Tally and David, she watches him bathe.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird. I literally went, what the fuck was that scene supposed to be? I was like, was that supposed to be a romantic scene? Because it was nothing but creepy and awkward.
No, I agree. It was weird. As Tally and David grow closer, he reveals the truth to her about the surgeries. So instead of just making you pretty, they also limit human free will. Do we know how? No. A select few are given a cure to become scientists and participate in the scheme. David's parents worked as scientists until they discovered the truth and fled, and ever since they have been trying to develop a cure. When Tally's tracker signals Dr. Cable, she arrives with troops to round up the rebels. Paris, who is now modified to be an enhanced soldier, kills David's father, and Tally is discovered to be a traitor.
Paris with the AI filter on his face.
So
funny.
Bad. The pretties are like...
It's so bad. Like, it's just bad.
It's really bad. And honestly, I would have liked it so much more if they went like really uncanny valley with it.
Yes. I wish
in
it was
the book,
more like...
they were kind of implied to be a little inhuman looking.
Yes.
Like, let's get weird with it.
Yeah, it would have been a much better choice if they looked like almost scary with how like plastic surgery-esque they were.
Yes.
That would have been so
Why
cool.
didn't we do honestly, that would have
been way more relatable too.
So much more realistic. And like because okay, I guess they had to take the word pretty literally when like pretty is always objective and is always influenced by the culture you live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure, back in the early 1900s, they didn't find the like blown up lips and cheek injections and like completely muscular toned body pretty. They probably would have found something else pretty. But today, that's what we find pretty.
Yeah.
So like, let's see in the future, like what's do we find pretty?
Yeah.
But no, it's just people
it's just
with
literally
makeup.
AI filter.
Yeah.
Tally, David, and some of Tally's friends make a plan to rescue the captured rebels. Tally's friends create a diversion that allows Tally and David to arrive where the rebels are being held. I love how quickly they hop onto this plan of revolution.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So fast.
Yeah.
It's like
no
not even a page of dialogue.
Yeah. Everyone is freed except for Shay, who has already undergone the surgery. Completely changed and oblivious to her previous cause, she is taken with the rebels to a safe spot. When Paris confronts them, Tally tries to get through to his true personality, but is forced to push him off a building to protect David.
While escaping, David's mother reveals that she stole the final piece of the cure, but she doesn't want to administer it to Shay because Shay is unwilling, which is frankly insane.
Right.
Like, someone's free will has been taken away.
Yeah.
Her literal free will has been taken away from her, and you're like, but she's not willing. I don't want to give her the cure.
Yeah.
Bitch!
She's a fucking mindless drone. Like,
that was the most insane logic ever. I'm sorry. Like, this is when we're just, what even is this script?
Yeah, no, it was so bad.
So Tally volunteers to undergo the surgery and test the cure. She swears that she will not let being pretty change her drive for justice, and she bids David and his friends goodbye. Later, we get a shot of Tally where it is revealed that she is pretty. She went through the surgery, and she's now living as a pretty in the city. But she kept her scar on her hand, signifying that she will keep her promise to, I don't know, promote the cause.
Yeah.
Hoping for sequels, maybe?
I mean, that's what the ending very much left it to be.
Are we going to get them? Who knows?
Are we going to get a Pretties movie? I hope not.
Pretties was my favorite book, I remember, in the series.
I really don't remember anything except for the fact that like she had gotten the surgery, but she was like kind of undercover.
Yeah.
God bless Joey King. I also think the actress who's playing Shay is really trying.
She really tried, I agree.
Yeah, but this movie, I told you, I had put on a face mask, and this particular face mask, you have to like keep it on for at least like 3 hours. And so I wrote in my notes, I go, thank God I put this face mask on because this is the only thing keeping me watching this movie and not going to bed. I put 0 out of time. I'll never get that time back.
Yeah. I also gave it a 2 out of 10. I just gave it the same as Divergent because I kind of felt the same after.
Oh, at least again with Divergent, I had some sort of fun with the nostalgia of it all.
I really liked the Uglies books. So
I did too.
I did have a little bit of a nostalgic thing of like just remembering what happened in the books. In my head, these events were communicated in a much more interesting way.
I'm so curious to like pick up the book and be like, was it always this bad?
Yeah, I kind of want to now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of did away with anything that could have been disturbing or eerie or interesting
or
really
relatable.
About this story.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, honestly, what it feels like is like Joey King reading you facts about the world that the movie exists in for 2 hours.
No, really. I mean,
there is no dialogue that is not also exposition.
No, quite literally. That's what I mean when it's like David and Tally's relationship. When they kiss, I literally was like, where the fuck did that come from?
All you've done is recite facts to each other.
Literally all they've talked about is like what happens in the smoke and what happens in the city. I really just don't know who this movie is for. Like, people who read the book Uglies are people like our age or probably older.
And we're adults now, yeah.
And we're adults. The YA dystopian train has left the station long ago. And so it's like, okay, is this movie for kids? It's so shit. Like, you're not exploring any interesting theme. Is it nostalgia bait because it's a crap movie and we're too old for it now? Anything that could have been interesting or relatable, like a plastic surgery type of element,
or even like the production design, like the setting of the world is so relentlessly generic. Like, create a world.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, this beauty-centric society, like, where do we live?
Even the dorms that they live in, I was like,
it's like gray and futuristic. Like, it's so generic. There's no character to it at all.
Literally the only part I found somewhat interesting was when she goes to the smoke and she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize like you could cook your own food and it tastes like this, because like the computer like generates their food basically. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me like in The Giver when they discover color and stuff like that. I was like, okay, like that could be and then it was done. Yeah, just awful, bad shit, horrible movie.
Yeah. It just really sucks to see, something really, in my opinion, innovative like The Hunger Games, which was, this dystopia with this like aimed at a younger audience and made kind of specifically for them, to see it get watered down further and further until it's just like an echo of what once was. But it's like the game of telephone. It's like, okay, now we're not making sense.
No, literally.
Like, now it's so convoluted. It's gone through so many iterations that now it's just this nonsensical version of what once was.
No, literally. I mean, it's like it's checking boxes. It's like you have rebellious teenage main character, dystopian world, big bad government figure, and a sexy male character. It's like you're literally just checking off the boxes, but there's no substance. Like,
there's nothing.
It's so empty and hollow. I feel like if I drop this movie on the floor, it'd shatter into a million pieces.
It doesn't work as a dystopia. It doesn't work as a commentary on like beauty or beauty standards. It doesn't work as a character piece. It really doesn't work as anything. I'm just baffled as to why this movie even exists.
I swear it was some crappy decision by some executives.
You're definitely
just like
right.
really trying to nostalgia bait people. And it worked because we watched the movie and we put some money in their pocket. So
I hate to think that I'm complicit in this.
I know.
It's like Katniss being made the Mockingjay. She's being made into a conduit for something she has no affiliation with, really. Yeah, no, I think The Hunger Games is a fully solid, decent movie. I think Divergent's bad. I think Uglies is bad. I think it's so clearly a cash grab on behalf of the studios. And what really sucks is that, like, there is so much to explore through a dystopian setting. There is so much incredible dystopian literature and
so much.
And like dystopian, even like books and even like shows and films. There's really so much to explore, and it really sucks to see people taking the setting and just leaving it unexplored. Like taking the tropes and not delving into them at all, or even bothering to understand why one version works and another doesn't.
I especially find it heartbreaking that, you know, with the article that you read, I can't remember his name, but the writer so brilliantly said how dystopian novels work so well in a YA setting because teens can relate to this struggle and, you know,
like
the
feeling like the world is oppressing them and like the world doesn't understand them, because every teenager feels that to an extent.
Exactly. And the fact that now, you know, using Uglies as an example, people are using that in the most cheap, ridiculously offensive way.
I mean, I'm sorry, in 2024, you could make the most interesting version of Uglies with the way that our beauty standards
have impacted such young children
and have evolved since 2008. You made the most white bread version of this movie that you possibly could have made at the most interesting time to make it.
And it's just so upsetting because it's like, oh, what? Because it's for teenagers and kids, it can't be good.
We have to hear the same information 5 separate times throughout the film because, like what,
not
teenagers are too stupid to understand it the first time?
Exactly.
It's insulting. I genuinely, I find it insulting.
Yeah, so big disappointment, but like we said, there are so many amazing dystopian books, films, TV shows. Just, it's such an interesting subgenre of media to consume.
I mean, I love sci-fi.
I love sci-fi. Yeah. And I just think, again, I loved reading The Giver when I was younger. Love reading The Hunger Games. Love Brave New World, 1984. Like, there are so many great stories out there.
Yeah. For anyone who wants a recommendation, got a shout out Red Rising, which I read last year. Is fucking awesome.
My best friend has been trying to get me to read that for over a year.
I'm shocked you haven't, and you must.
No, yeah, it's on my list.
It is so thrilling, so fun, great futuristic kind of, it's like in space, but it's like kind of dystopian. It's awesome, like great kind of, I think it's a great kind of what maybe a successor to the Hunger Games.
Ooh, okay.
In quality. It's brilliant. Love Battle Royale, which obviously influenced the Hunger Games. As you said, Brave New World, 1984. There's so much
many
great stuff.
But yeah, I had fun this week, regardless of the shit we watched.
Honestly, yeah. Divergent and even Uglies were fun to an extent.
Agree to disagree at some level, but
I think I did myself a disservice watching both of them alone.
Yeah,
I definitely would have had more fun with a friend.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those like hate watch types of things.
Watching it alone is just boring.
No, it's torture. But yeah, so fun week.
We hope that you guys will join us next week where we will be talking through the Oscar nominations.
Yes.
Very excited to see. When we're filming this, they have not come out yet.
Yes, no, we are in the dark.
So very excited to actually hear about the nominations and give our, I'm sure, very well received takes on them.
Get ready for some hot takes.
I
also get ready for me and Olivia to probably fight.
We have very differing opinions on what we like this year. Please join us again for our extra special episode. And thanks so much for listening.
I'm Maggie.
I'm Olivia.
Bye.
Bye.